Luckily, we've had rain this past weekend, and we're tracking some more chances for rain in our upcoming forecast. Well, joining me now for Mid-Michigan Matters is Marcus Duck with Michigan State University's Department of Horticulture. And so, Marcus, we are still behind on that rainfall. What can people do to make sure they're taking care of their lawns and their plants?
So my go-to answer for everything related to landscape and horticulture is it depends. So
Yes.
the safest thing is to check the soil moisture. If it feels dry, then the plants need water. If it's moist, then they don't. And it's not just the surface. You need to go down just a little bit within the root zone of the plants to check and see if there's moisture there. So instead of sticking to an absolute schedule of so many days and that kind of stuff, it's more just pay attention to the plants. If they're wilting, look like they're struggling, and that soil moisture is key.
And part of those water recommendations you were just talking about is going into the soil, not just feeling the surface.
Correct. So with your landscape plants, it's helpful if you have mulch, organic mulch that retains that soil moisture. So you'd need to dig beyond that mulch to see the moisture down in the soil. And then for the lawns, the same thing, kind of digging down, don't dig a hole of course,
Yes.
but get down into the soil just to see what that moisture's there.
Yeah, don't want to ruin your lawn anymore.
Exactly, yes.
You were mentioning to me earlier, fertilizer can impact the moisture of your soil.
So it's more so when we're in a situation like this where water is limiting, you want to hold off on pushing too much growth. So it's usually recommended to limit or reduce the amount of fertilizer that you're putting onto the landscape, especially turf grass if it's not irrigated, especially when we're limited with water the way we are and the turf starts going into dormancy, then that causes problems. It's dormant, so it's not, actively taking up the nutrients. Plants like annuals, like geraniums, begonias, petunias, those are water hogs. So you're going to be watering those to keep them alive. So those, it's okay to fertilize based on the plants and the label, obviously with the fertilizer you're using. But yeah, less water, less fertilizer.
Water hogs, you want to stay away from those.
So you can have them, just make sure you have the water that's available for them.
There you go, keep your hoses and your sprinklers running. But for those in the Midwest, like all of us who, Michigan gets all the weather, how can people make sure they have a low maintenance lawn?
So I don't know if it's truly low maintenance, but you can minimize the maintenance with right plant, right place. So pay attention to your environmental conditions, sun, shade, and then choose a species of turf grass that fits your site. And then if you have irrigation, then that broadens the types of plants that you can have because you can provide that supplemental water. All
right. Well, hey, Marcus, I do want to send people to a place where they can find more information. Where can they go?
So a great resource is NALP's loveyourlandscape.org. So it's down there at the bottom of the screen. That's the National Association of Landscape Professionals. Tons of really good resources for homeowners, how to find a professional. Even though it's the National Association, they have local recommendations too.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us on Mid-Michigan Matters. It was great having you.
Thanks.